one of the things that, I know that, of course we get nervous and we get scared. And a lot of us who are in here, if a lot of you have taken the class, so you should have seen some gains by now in your portfolio. And we don't want to lose all of our gains. And so we're going to talk about later on, after Terrell goes over some charts and things with us, is, what is my real strategy, and why am I here? And am I here to create wealth? Am I here to make a little money? Am I here to make a lot of money? Am I here for the long-term gains? Because it is those that held, like, for instance, let's take Bitcoin, for example. Just 10 years ago, Bitcoin, you could buy Bitcoin for less than a penny. And think about when it went up to $1 or it went up to $10 and it crashed back down. What if they would have sold? Now, those are people that took $1,000 10 years ago. A lot of them are billionaires now. And I just want you to consider that, with your investment dollars right now, if it took you 5 years to reach 5 million, 10 million from the current investment that you put into cryptocurrency now, would that be a bad thing? And what else are you working on that you don't have to touch it, look at it, see it, do anything to make those type of gains and to make those type of profits and to go on down the road? Now, I'm not discouraging taking profit. I believe in taking profit. However, I believe in having a multiple layered strategy that you do that. So you have some crypto for long term. You have some crypto that you want to take your gains on and in the short term. And then you have some medium term. So you have your different target. But I want to talk about what is the real money doing in this market right now. And I'm going to share my screen and we're going to discuss that. So this is Kraken Intelligence. As you, many of you know, Kraken is one of the largest exchanges in the world. And when we look at what's happening and where the money is really going. So last week, we know that Elon Musk came out and he made a statement about the energy efficiency with cryptocurrency. Well, 1 week later, he comes back with Michael Saylor and they formed a Bitcoin mining council. Was that happenstance? Was that coincidence? Were they talking about this before now? Absolutely. So I just want you to be mindful that when news comes out, that you read behind the news and that you take the initiative and be proactive in getting the facts and what's really going on behind the scenes in cryptocurrency. When we look at ARK Investment, and I'll share this video in just a moment, who buys 20 million worth of Bitcoin just last week when crypto was going down. But this right here is what's really important to me. The number of Bitcoin holders shoots to the record high, the data shows. So this isn't what Michelle is saying. This isn't what Terrell is saying. We're looking at the actual facts. Glassnode data shows that the number of accumulation Bitcoin addresses climbed to a record for the 7th consecutive day on May 24th, taking a total of 545,115,000 Bitcoins. The number increased by 16,445 since May 8th, implying that the long-term investors may be taking advantage of Bitcoin slide from 58 to 30,000. So the balance held in accumulation addresses, meaning that this is the power of the blockchain, because we can actually see what wallets are holding what on the blockchain, because everything is transparent. This is also the reason why Bitcoin is such a wonderful invention, and the blockchain is even a bigger and wonderful invention, and why so many coins that are disrupting our current atmosphere and the current industries that we're in because of what they're building on the blockchain, because of the transparency there. The balance held in accumulation addresses jumped by 30,000 during the same time frame, hitting a 2-month high of 2.79 billion. So what that means is that those wallet addresses that have been seen accumulating Bitcoin jumped by 30,000 during this same time frame. So during this crash, this market crash, when everybody's talking about, do I sell my Bitcoin right now? These big wallet addresses that's accumulating Bitcoin, they eating it up. So what side do you want to be on? And that's why I want you to go from an emotional investor to a solid, educated investor that makes moves that we follow the money. And you have to be paying attention, not just to the noise, not just to the news, not just to your homeboy, your homegirl that's talking about, man, it's crashing. Girl, it's going down. I would jump out right now if I was you. There's a time to jump out. I'm not saying that, there's not a time to pivot. But make sure before you do, you get the right information, and that you do more than just listen to the news, and you do more than just have a conversation with your homeboy, your homegirl, or even your cousin or your mother or your brother or your sister that don't even have a wallet address. Or if they do, they bought a couple $100 in Bitcoin or $1,000 in Bitcoin. They're not really studying the market. And if you're going to be an investor in this market and you're going to use cryptocurrency as your vehicle to create wealth for you and your family, you're going to have to be more than just a casual, let me go with the wind and follow what the news says and move with the herd. You're going to have to understand and really pay attention to what's going on in the market behind what we call the FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. 8.6 billion IT firm reveals as Bitcoin's latest institutional buyer. According to SEC filings, Latin IT conglomerate bought $500,000 worth of crypto in Q1. So what are they doing? We just following the money. If we go down to here, these are the bytes and bits, but I just want to go over this right here. U.S. Senator told CNBC Bitcoin is a very freedom-friendly type of cryptocurrency. This provides a great opportunity around the world for people whose governments become oppressive or allow inflation to run out of control. The Wyoming governor, Mark Gordon, says he owns crypto and added that if you can have Bitcoin and you can stake with that, it ultimately makes our economy stronger. Lawrence Summers, the chief economist, former Treasury Secretary and former director of the National Economic Council, says crypto has a chance of becoming an agreed form that people who are looking for safety hold wealth in. My guess is that crypto is here to stay, and probably here to stay as a kind of a digital gold. Bitcoin may become fundamental to commerce on the internet. So when we go down here and we look at central banks, South Africa Central Bank announced it will carry out trials on different technology platforms to look at the feasibility, desirability, and the appropriateness of a retail central bank currency. The Central Bank of Indonesia is planning to issue a CBC to speed up payments. So when we just look at what's going on in the market and what the players are doing, the real players with the real money, with the $1 billion, with the $1 trillion, when we look at what they're doing, they're not leaving crypto, they're accumulating more when it comes to buying the dip. So people always want to know, well, okay, are we in a bull run? Are we in a, where are we at? So I think Dr. Helen Delahousse is on this call, and she always said that, documentation beats conversation. And I believe that documentation beats conversation. And for those of you who have taken my class, you know that I'm always going back to show you that it's not what Michelle said, but I'm going to show you what's really being said. So how long does the bull run last for Bitcoin? Around 518 days. Now, when was the halving? So Bitcoin halves, as you know, every 4 years, around every 210,000 blocks, Bitcoin halves, which is roughly around every 4 years. Bitcoin did that May 18th of 2020, which means that we're a little over 365 days. The average Bitcoin cycle after the halving is 518 days. And it took roughly the same time in the halving too. So in January in 2017, 546 days the bull run ran, and the market cycle in 2013, it was 518 days. So history shows us that the bull market cycle lasts about 518 days. That being the case, we're a little over 365 days. Terrell's going to go over some information with you that's going to, give you some analyticals from a technical standpoint as well on when we look at the charts on what Bitcoin has done. But during that 518 days, just know that there is also the dips. There is the ups, there is the downs during that cycle. It's not going to go all the way up 518 days. Nothing does. If you're a real estate investor, remember the crash in 2008? There was a crash before that. There's another crash coming in a moment when this market cools off and all these notes come due that are government backed and people haven't been paying their loans. And now they get a bunch of foreclosures coming in. The market is going to crash again. That's just what it does. It happens in the stock market. It happens in the S&P. Gold goes down. Silver goes down. Silver's going up right now. It's going to go up for a while. But in any market, that's the market cycle. Whatever business that you're in, you have your high notes, you have your low. For those people that, when you think about a business that does a lot more business in the summer than it does in the winter. They have their bull markets, they have their bear markets. And so it's the same thing. And I want to just put it in perspective because a lot of people are new to the crypto space and a lot of people have made gains in this space. And as soon as we see the dips, that's why we say buy the dips. Now, this right here, anybody could have Googled and found this information out. And the reason that I brought it up is because if you're going to play in this market and you're wondering how long does the bull run last, Google it and find out. Start being your own rescue so that you're not just, stuck to the whims of what the market is saying or what people are saying around you. You actually are getting the information for yourself because that's what's going to make you powerful in this space. And when we look at, let me go back right here, why we think that Bitcoin is still going to, and people are still calling for such a high number. Kathy Woods explains it well to us. For those of you that may have seen this in a training, let me refresh you. But for those of you who haven't, this is good information for you.
She is articulating why one Bitcoin will equal $500,000 per coin.
Bitcoin, more in the fintech realm. We are seeing corporations, we didn't expect this, we expected institutional interest, but we didn't expect corporations to substitute Bitcoin for cash. MicroStrategy was the first. All of its cash is now in Bitcoin. And in fact, it did an offering so that it could buy more Bitcoin. Square has put 5% of its assets into Bitcoin. And we're seeing more mature companies like PayPal enabling the buying and selling of Bitcoin on its platform as Cash App does as well. Well, if companies in the S&P 500 were to put 1% of their cash into Bitcoin, that would increase the price of Bitcoin by $40,000. Today, it's close to $30,000. So that's more than a double right there. If we saw 10%, of course, that would add 400,000. And I just told you, MicroStrategy has put all of its cash in. Perhaps emerging markets will be faster in terms of adoption, but we have been very surprised at how quickly this has happened in the United States. Institutions are going to have a significant impact on Bitcoin's price. We're seeing all kinds of evidence today. I just gave you some about corporate cash, but we have the OCC. Last July, they allowed custody banks to federally chartered banks to custody Bitcoin. And just within the last month, they have allowed banks to actually become nodes on any public blockchain so that they can enable much less expensive and efficient settlement. So that is again a little faster than we would have expected. We've seen Fidelity. The infrastructure has certainly been moving into place for a while. Fidelity, the Intercontinental ICE, the Intercontinental Exchange, the CME, and Cambridge. The consultant wrote a paper about, it was a little more than a year ago, basically telling institutions, hey, this could be a new asset class. And it has a very low correlation. In fact, it has the lowest correlation if you compare Bitcoin with all the other major asset classes out there. It has the lowest correlations of any other combination. So we believe that here you can see that if our analysis on how institutions will look at allocating to this space is correct, and this is using a Monte Carlo simulation, institutional involvement could increase the price of Bitcoin. Again, it's 30,000 now, by 200,000 if they want to minimize volatility, to 500,000 if they want to maximize their Sharpe ratios.
Hey, and by the way, guys, don't forget to comment on the video like I did. It's fun to look back on comments from old videos. Sometimes this is a new video.
Okay, so wanted to just share that information so you can see how institutions are looking at this, and you know how they're gauging the pricing of Bitcoin. And we look at ARK Investment. She was just one of the ones that on Kraken's report came up that they just invested during this crash, when Bitcoin was crashing, when everybody said that when it was really correcting, because like any market, you can't, it once it starts overheating, it has to come back down and cool off for a moment. And so during this correction, they gobbled up another 20 million when half of us on this line was probably thinking about selling. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm really making jabs at you because I've been in the same position before. But that's why I made sure that I was going to become educated, because I knew that there's a lot of money. I might not have a bunch of that old money, but I'm gonna have a bunch of this new money. But I had to pay attention, and it's worth paying attention to. That's all I'm just trying to get you out. It's worth paying attention to, because when we look at the facts, when we get rid of all the noise and we look at the actual facts of what's going on in the cryptocurrency space and what's going to be big, and I'll actually play a video after Terrell finishes about what's next. And how do you make money now when you move from your just holding your coins to off your coins? There's a lot of opportunity that you can't get anywhere else in this type of gains. And one of the things that I pulled up, actually, I want to show you this because this is very important. Let me Google this right fast. I just was on a class before. Let me see. Bitcoin. What was it? Bitcoin. Okay, I'm not going to take the time to pull it up now, but I'll pull it up right here. Here we go. Bitcoin's returns destroy everything on Wall Street. Michelle Lilly didn't say that. Goldman Sachs said that. As of March 4th, Bitcoin's year-to-date return at about 70% was roughly double that for the next closest competitor, the energy sector, at about 35%. So when we compare Bitcoin to Bitcoin has led over assets from stocks to bonds, oil, banks, gold, and tech, even through the dips, even through the corrections, even through the market crashes. It has led year to date at about 70%, roughly double of that for the next closest competitor. I didn't say that. Y'all believe in Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs said that. And so when we look at the facts, when we take our emotion out of it, when we take the fear and the FUD, the fear, the uncertainty, and doubt out of what Bitcoin is going to do, time and time again, history has shown us, just like 3 years ago when Jamie Dimon, CEO CEO of Chase Bank, told us that Bitcoin was a fraud and Bitcoin was a scam. And now that they're investing in Bitcoin, and now that they're building their crypto division. So, you know, just pay attention. And I really just want you to know, and I really wanted you to understand where we are in this bull run and where we are in this market cycle, and why people say that it'll probably go towards the end of the year, because typically the average bull run has went 518 days, and we're a little over 365 days right now. So with that being said, I'm actually going to turn it over to you, Tero, so you can actually go over some charts with us and give us some more technical analysis on the market and where we're at.
All right. You make me the host on this one?
Let me stop sharing. Okay, you should be. Okay.
That's
Can
it.
you see your screen now?
Oh, not yet. No, still not letting me in.
Okay, see if that.
All right, there we go.
All right.
All right. So what I want to speak, and I'll just touch on some of the stuff that Michelle spoke about previously. But like I said, when we want to talk about, what we want to always think about is perspective. And that this is a short video to kind of show you the cycle of the bull run and what it's going to do, what it has done in the past, and what historical data has shown us what our future could predict or hold for us. And always look at the big story. They say when you in doubt, zoom out, and we'll look at a chart to kind of let you see that these cycles and these support and resistance levels are the same across the board. And even when we say, like Michelle said, it's not a crash. I don't like to say crash. I like to say a correction, because nothing goes up forever. But when you have a correction in the market, that's a signal of a healthy market. And that's what we want to pay attention to. So I'll play this quick little video, and then we'll go to the charts.
Take a step back and look at where we were coming from, where we are at now, and potentially where we're going. And I think this is going to help you kind of get a clearer vision and just kind of get out of your head a little bit. So first of all, just so you know, today for reference, we've got it's March 10th, 2021, and Bitcoin right now is about, gosh, I want to say it's about 56,000, somewhere around there. And Ethereum,
where the FUD seemed to
57,000. Ethereum is 1,800, Binance Coin 287, Cardano was $1.17, and Tether's Tether. So that's what's going on in the market, just for a reference for later on. But I want to bring you back real quick and talk about the 4-year cycles, which we talked about pretty much ad nauseum here on the channel. But I want to take a look back at where we were as far as Ethereum and Bitcoin at this same time, this different bull run back in the day. I also want to take a look at what it's going to take to get to that 150K, 250K, 300, 500K Bitcoin that people are talking about all over the place. And then, just take a look at some numbers as far as market cap. So let's just back up for a bit, shall we? All right. So if you're new to crypto, hey, welcome. Just so you know, all this volatility that's going on, it's normal. And 20% swings, 40% swings in the traditional market, that is like the worst day ever. People are jumping out of windows, but we just call that a Tuesday here in crypto land. So just relax. at some point. If you don't like the percentage loss, just wait a couple days. It'll turn around. And that's usually what it is. And the big thing that we're here on the channel is all about investing, not about trading so much, just investing. And this is why. So for your cycle for crypto, take a look at what happened in the past. And just so you know, it always kind of follows this same type of routine. There's a Bitcoin halving, which everything kind of comes off of that play. 2012, we had a halving when Bitcoin was a whopping $5 to $14. I don't remember those days. Actually, I do. Little quick side story. My son came to me and said, "Hey, if you want, one of my friends has he's selling Bitcoin, 500 Bitcoin for $500 in a hard drive." And I asked him, I go, "What's Bitcoin?" He told me. I'm like, "That's stupid. Who would do that?" Now here I am with the channel. So anyhow, that's just how it goes. So back in the day, it was between $5 and $14. Then you had, after the halving, then everything just, the amount of Bitcoin that miners can actually get in a 10-minute block gets reduced by halving. And then supply and demand, everything rockets up, all-time high in 2013. Then you have a massive dip or reset over the next 2 years. Then you go to the next 4-year cycles. And that's what most of us remember. 2016, you had Bitcoin around $1,000, not too bad. And then 2020 or 2017, you had all-time high of 19.5, then a huge dip where everything just kind of fell off the face of the planet. And then you just had a sideways action and then a reset in 2019 back to 12,000. Okay. And then coming forward, we had the halving in 2020, and then we don't know what's going to happen in 2021. But if there's any indication, it's going to look something like what we just saw in 2013 and 2017. It's just going to be an all-time high. And what's going to happen is it's going to skyrocket up crazily. And what will break it is at some point, nothing goes up forever. And you have to understand that as things go up, things are going to get massively overbought. So if you think like an 80K Bitcoin is crazy, it's coming. If you think 120K Bitcoin is crazy, it's coming. 150K Bitcoin is coming. That's my prediction for 2021. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it goes to 300,000 or 500,000. I'll be happily wrong there. But once it goes up to this hockey stick pattern, smart money's be like, you know what? This is a mania. This is FOMO. People don't know what the heck they're getting into. I'm out. And then once you see, and people will always say to me, well, the institutions, they're not selling. They're selling. Michael Saylor's not selling because he controls the board. Elon Musk, debatable. Mass Mutual, probably not. You know, they're going to be around for a while. But these other big institutions, corporations, hedge funds, they're going to be like, we're selling because we know how the cycles work. We're not here for the long haul. We're here to make money and we're out. Just like traders. Traders are not here. They're not investors. They're here to make a quick cash and then they turn around and do whatever they want with it. Now, I and some other people are, you can be a trader and an investor. I'm a 95% investor, 5% trader. Some are 50-50, some are 20%, it doesn't matter. But you understand that there's always going to be people out there who are greedy, who are manipulators, people who just need to take profits. Something comes up in their lives, or people that just really understand cycles. So when people say, Rob, you don't understand, it's different. It's not different. As long as people remain the same, this market will remain the same, and we'll still have these massive peaks and valleys. So
like he states in his video, is that everybody has their own strategy, and you as an investor, like Michelle started off saying, you have to ask yourself, why are you in crypto? Are you in for the long term, the short term, or the medium? But we believe that if you're going to play this game, it's important for you to really understand the game and how to play it and have a multi-layer strategy. Taking some profits, you know, doing some other things that's gaining you in the short term, and then, you know, might be having a little bit of risky, and that would be the trading aspect of it. So this is, I want to go to a chart here. So this is the Bitcoin chart here. And this is more of a technical analysis, but the biggest thing that I want you to take away from this is know your numbers. Like everything has a price. Like I always, my example to it is always with the new PlayStation, right? When a new PlayStation comes out, the new PlayStation is $400. When it goes on sale, it's $199. when the PlayStation comes out again, the new one comes out, what price is it going to? It's going back up to $400. So if you look at markets that way, the market is going to tell you what everybody's agreeing on, the price that they're agreeing to pay for it. And if you understand that, then you know where to buy and where to sell. So this is a monthly chart right here. So it dates all the way back. This is November 17, and it goes all the way back, goes all the way up to April 21st when we had the run up this year, right? And then you have certain points in this cycle where take profit. So I'm gonna go down to a lower time frame. Let's look at the weekly, right? So every time you have these accumulation and you kind of going in a sideways pattern, that is called consolidation. This is where the market is deciding which move that it wants to go to next, right? So these are your points. And if you look at it right now, look at that price point. $32 right there. And you see I have it marked, right? And then the bottom of that was that $30,000 that it dipped to the other day, and then it shot right back up, right? But up here, you had a lot of consolidation. It was hitting against 58,000. The high that it went was around 64,000, but it was bumping against this support. It was bumping against this resistance. When you have resistance in the market, this is when you sell. Whenever you're coming to an all-time high, most people, and this is where they get you, most people, when they see it coming up, they're FOMOing in, it's, oh my God, it's going in. This is not when you want to buy. Absolutely not. This is not when you want to buy. You want to wait till that thing comes back down and gives you a correction. We buy on the dips. We buy right here on the dips. And just like Michelle showed you in the evidence that everybody was buying here. Everybody was buying here. And then the crash, the correction happened. And then people started immediately. Guys were sitting at the bottom of this dip, waiting to buy all the scared money, all the paper hands, all the loose people out there that was shaking out of the market. They were sitting here waiting for you to sell your Bitcoin at a discount. And then it immediately jumped up. And we can take a tool right here to look and see what that is from here all the way back up to the high of that. And this happened over maybe a 3-day period. That's a 37% increase in less than 20 to 48 hours. So this is the thing that you need to understand, that when things are going on a run, that's not the time to get in it. You need to wait, see what the market is doing. The market is going to tell you what it's going to do. And then once it corrects, then that's what you want to do, because this is a marker for us now. So we know if we're right here at about 40,000, we know we still have to go back up and test this high right here. So we sell at the highs and we buy at the lows. And that is what you need to put into your trading plan. And then, so if you're going to be holding for the long term, then you have to understand that you're going to have to go through this stuff. But in the medium, if you want to take profits, you need to know your numbers. So we know right now, if this thing drops back down to anywhere around $32,000, we're buying here, because we got to go back up. And right now it's trading within this range right here. So the numbers to remember, take away from this, the number to be looking at is $32,000 and $42,000. Once we break 42,000, then we can look to go back up to 58,000. For the time being, we are in this range right here, and that's where you need to be trading. Okay. So I will pass that back over to Michelle.
Okay. So one of the things too that in Bitcoin, and it has its cycles. In its cycles, it also has different sectors within cryptocurrency that has its hot times. So like we seen a couple months ago, NFTs were really hot. We seen that market kind of cool down some. We'll probably see that pick up again. They called last summer where people were making crazy amounts of money off of DeFi, decentralized finance protocols, such as Polymatic. You see that going up right now. When you've seen Pancake Swap was going up, Sushi Swap, all those different type of protocols in the DeFi space, Polkadot, Chainlink, and so forth, that were going up. And they've adjusted some with this market, but they're expecting to see a DeFi summer again. And when we talk about big money, let me share my screen again. Let me show you this. Let me move this. Okay, let's go here.
Leary from Anthony Pompliano's channel. Leary from Anthony Pompliano's channel, Anthony Pompliano, which I'll highly recommend, as well as I'll put a link to the channel in the description of this video so you can see it. But Kevin O'Leary discusses his DeFi strategy, which, if you remember, just a few years ago, Kevin O'Leary called crypto garbage, and now he's a DeFi bull. Remember, all he cares about, all rich people care about, is putting their cash to work. And that's exactly what he talks about in this interview. So as we pull back the layers of Bitcoin and crypto, what's working right now? What are the products and services that can really disrupt the mainstream right now are DeFi and NFTs. Now keep that front of mind, because these are the two product verticals that I see being the most disruptive going forward. And a little statement from Mr. Wonderful here, how he's got WonderFi, Wonder Financial, as his own DeFi platform that he's about to release. Again, I'm telling you, DeFi and earning yield on passive liquid assets is something that the world has never seen before. When you have cash, it usually does nothing for you. So being able to lend out fully liquid assets and make exceptional yield on it is something astronomical and a huge quality of life improvement for the richest people in the world. This is one of the biggest disruptions. I also believe strongly in the NFT disruption. And quite frankly, NFT projects have been hit harder than any other because the NFT mania that passed in February led to a huge deflation of values. And then a market-wide collapse made things even worse. So you're seeing a lot of NFT projects that have gotten hit extremely, extremely hard. And again, if we remain bullish, I believe that the altcoins that were dominating back in December and January and February, I believe that there will be a lot of those returns to glory as we've seen before. We saw this back in September and October with the hard rinse.
So I'm going to stop it there and talk about and go to, when you go here, we see here DeFi and NFTs on, if you've been in any of our trainings, you know that CoinMarketCap is our Google. And so when you look at here, you can look at all the DeFi projects. So if you wanted to go and invest in any of the decentralized finance projects, this is where you could actually go and click on any of these and find out information about these coins and these tokens and what's going on and what's happening with them and who they're tied to, who their investors are. You know how to do your fundamental research and decide what coins you want to purchase. But decentralized finance is going to be huge. I mentioned that in the trainings that we have. DeFi, it is disrupting our financial services. And when he's talking about yield farming and making money on okay, so think about this right now. Let me make this plain and clear. When you go to the bank and you deposit your money in the bank, so anybody that has money sitting in the bank right now, you are providing liquidity to the market. What does that mean? That means that anyone who's coming to the bank to get a loan for a car, for a house, for upgrade, for whatever their personal loan, for whatever they're trying to do, that money comes from the people who have put their money in the bank and provided liquidity to the market, which provides liquidity to the banks so that they can loan out and make these. And if you notice the type of returns that bank makes and the type of profits that banks make every year is because of the money that the people have provided to liquidity to the market. Well, in decentralized finance and in yield farming, the bank is taken out of the middle. Decentralized finance means it's decentralized. Centralized finance is what you work with now. And so because of that, you get to make some of the type of returns that the banks typically make. And so when you look at the yield farming, the different opportunities, you look at this is where you just sit your coins and you can actually earn interest off your coins. And there's from anywhere from 40, 70 to 100 to 500% in yield farming. And it does take skill. It does take knowing how to do it, just like it takes knowing how to research a coin and find out whether it's going to be of value or not. And so what we have tomorrow is just like we have an informational today. One of my classmates from the University of Nicosia, which is the 20, if you Google it, is ranks in the top 20 in the world for institutions. So she is actually one of my classmates from Hong Kong and has been in the financial industry for over 20 years. She sits on some of the boards on Hong Kong where she deals with the compliance aspect for financial services when it's related to cryptocurrency. And she actually happens to be staying in Houston with her son right now, who goes to boarding school here. She is actually she teaches a class, but she's going to do an informational for us tomorrow, same time. And we'll put the right link in the Telegram this time. So Terrell and I won't get confused as to who put the link in the Telegram. But she's going to share information about how you can actually yield farm and actually make passive income, which is what, and in DeFi and decentralized finance, which is what Kevin O'Leary is getting involved in, which is what Mark Cuban is very excited about, is decentralized finance, and a lot of big investors, because they understand the financial arena at another level and understand the opportunity when it comes to providing liquidity and making money passively off of your coins. So she's going to do a class about that. We're going to drop the link in the Telegram today. So, I mean, drop the informational in the Telegram as well as the link in the Telegram for the informational that she's doing tomorrow. So I would suggest that you hop on. That is something that has not been covered. If you've taken any of our classes or did a one-on-one, that has not been covered in that. She is definitely a guru in it. She teaches, not only she's looking at becoming a professor at the university as well. So she has a lot of information that she wants to share, a lot of new information. I asked her, would she share it with our group and our tribe so that we can actually take our game to the next level when it comes to earning passive income off of your coin. So instead of them just sitting in your wallet, you learn how to not only earn from not only staking, but from farming as well, and earn huge returns with minimum risk to your coins, and a lot of it with no risk at all, just depending on, how much yield that you want to earn. So we don't want to miss the opportunity to participate and to, again, one of the things that I talk about in the class is about always following the money. And so we follow the money, and the money is definitely going to be a lot of opportunity in DeFi. And that's where a lot of the big investors and even institutional investors are moving to. And so we definitely want to participate in that as well. So join us tomorrow at 7 o'clock. We'll put the link in the Telegram as mentioned before, or you can text Terrell or myself to get the link if you're not in our Telegram, and we can also add you to that Telegram as well. So we just wanted to come on today and give a market update to kind of give some facts to some of the fiction, to put some real news, real data out there, real, information that is documented, and it takes away a lot of the FUD. So you're not dealing with the uncertainty and doubt. And actually, you know what, if everyone wouldn't mind, and Terrell, I can turn it over to you while I send, I had texted my classmate during this, asking her if she could just come on and actually just give us a 3 to 5 minute snippet on what yield farming is and some of the opportunities dealing with yield farming. She just texted me back, yes. So I will send her the link and let her hop on. And Terrell, while I do that, can you just take over and add some last minute comments and things that we talk about on a daily basis, but share that with our cryptocurrency tribe here?
Absolutely. So, I mean, right now, guys, a lot of what's going on. We're super excited about this market because, I mean, we do this on a daily basis. We ingest a lot of information, and we see how fast this market is growing. And sometimes it can be a little overwhelming, but that's why you have to connect yourself to good information. You gotta connect yourself to people who know what they're talking about, subject matter experts, people who are going to give you what you need to do. But also, like she said, you have to become your own safety net. You have to engage yourself in this market. And, just like anything, and we've always said, like, if this is something that you think about it, this is year one of the new financial system. So if you really put that in the context, this is year one of the new financial system. So if you're in now, you're in super early. So there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to be had in this market, but you have to take the first step, which a lot of you have already done, is educating yourself, and then just become obsessed with this at this point. Become obsessed with the crypto market, and it'll pay dividends, you know. And the opportunities, if we want to talk about the leveling of the playing field, when we talk about DeFi, being able to add liquidity to the market and sit back and make money on your money. The lady that she's speaking about, I've done a training with her. She's amazing. And you know, me and Michelle, we started off in this game doing our analysis, picking these great coins that had great technology and everything. And that was our role, and that was our lane. And then we came to her, and she was just like, I don't worry about picking coins. I make money off of my money. You know, I don't use any of my own money. And if you really understand how the rich people actually operate, that's how they operate. Their money goes to work for them every day. And we have a saying, every dollar got a job to do. So that's what we want to put in your mind, that paradigm shift, that every dollar that you has a job to do. And you need to put it to work. And if you put it to work now, 3 to 5 years is going to pass regardless. 3 to 5 years are going to pass regardless, but it's about what you do in this moment that's going to dictate your future. So I just would encourage everybody to get in, stay in, and get deeper.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you could just think about a coin like Dogecoin. That, you know, if people was asking me about Dogecoin last year, and I was like, that coin doesn't have any utility, you know, I was kind of like bougie about my coins, like, nah, not Doge, no utility behind it. But it didn't matter. It's kind of like the GameStop thing, you know, the people drive the market. One of the things that is what anything in common is the people in the market.
Right.
And, you know, people bought Dogecoin years ago for pennies, $100, and that have become millionaires now. And so think about some of these coins that when you look at did thousands, 10,000% in a year's time. And a lot of people get out just because they can't wait. And so one of the things, especially as I think most of us on here are Black folks, and for those of us that's not, this is not to offend you at all, but typically we are consumers. And oftentimes, wait a minute, 1 second. One second. Oftentimes, we want to take profit. And one of the things that we want to take profit is we want to take profit and go buy consumer items. And I would just encourage everyone that if you're taking profit to buy consumer items, sometimes think about then taking profit to buy other coins that now maybe you're in a coin that has 10, 20x, and you want to take some of those profits because that coin probably can do another 10, 20x, and actually buy another coin that made 10, 20x in a shorter time frame than that coin will do another 10, 20x. So just think about why we're taking profit and think about the real wealth that's created, and don't be the person that I bought Bitcoin at $100 and I sold it at 5,000 because I didn't wait. Now, and I sold all of it. Now, you know, I'm not saying don't sell, don't take profit on your coins. I'm just saying, think about why you're doing it and make sure that you keep some for down the road because you're early to the party. I know it may not seem like it because a lot of times when we're in this space and we get in this space, a lot of people, we tend to run into people that are in this same space. And so it seems like everybody's in crypto. But everybody's not in cryptocurrency. There's only about 10% of the world that's in cryptocurrency. And so mass adoption has not taken place yet. And we are definitely early. So that's like getting in early on Amazon, Google, especially when you have really good, solid projects that you're in on. So just a moment, I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna call her. She's saying she's having a problem logging on. So let me find out what's going on. Taylor, if you want to start taking any questions.
Sure. So yeah, we will open it up. If anybody had any questions that they would like to have answered, please speak now.
Hey, Terrell, this is Lola. How are you?
I'm great, Lola. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So, wow, over the past month, I'll say, I ran into a group of people who, and I don't want to say a bad word, but they call them shit coins. The really low ones, they don't even call them altcoins. They call them shit coins.
Right.
And so folks like made crazy money. It was real volatile though. So I got a few of them, but some of them have dropped so low that they're basically non-existent at this particular point. So with that, there's nothing to sell because they're like down to $1. You know what I'm saying? Some of them, those, I guess you got to watch them a lot to know when to sell. Is that how that works? You got to watch them like constantly?
Well, the thing about it is, so the shit coins, if you want to call it that, like they're all predicated off of Doge, right? So what you have to understand, and I'm invested in I wouldn't say several of them, but about the top 5 of them. And we did get caught up because we, like me and Michelle, we do a lot of technical analysis. And then when the meme coin thing happened, it was like, man, look at all these people making all this money. And like she said, we got caught up to it. We human, as much as we technical analysis, we're human as well, but we got caught up in it as well. And sometimes you do have to ride that hot hand, right? But what it is, just think about it from the standpoint of think about a Doge, right? Doge has a $40 billion market cap, $40 to $50 billion market cap. Doge has no utility. It does nothing. Doge was made as a joke, right? Doge was made as a joke, and it was able to do that. Now, I'll give you 3 coins right now: Kishu, Shiba, and Hawk, HOKK. Now, go and research those coins. Those are also meme coins, right? But you have to look at those coins benefited off of what Doge did, because now they can say, yeah, we're a meme coin, but we have our own swap. We're coming out with our own credit card. We're doing this, we're doing that. And that's why I feel that you can be confident in some of these other coins, because they do have some utility. But the basis of it is that, well, I don't know, most people are familiar with what happened with the Wall Street bets, and they put GameStop up. Man, a lot of this stuff is about the network.
Yeah.
And like we like to say, it's a butt for every seat. Like they're building these networks around these coins, and they like them. And if they like them, they're gonna be there. And then just, but just still look at some of the statistics, like Kishu. In 31 days, had over 150 holders of that wallet. The market cap of I think it was $1 billion within the first 35 days or whatever. So like, these people are not putting this money into these coins just to get out of it and pull the rug. So on some of them, yeah, man, you probably did waste some money. But remember, in crypto, always, you only lose money when you sell.
Hello.
There she is. Hey, Miss Dorothy.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay. Is that?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please speak to our tribe.
Yes. Yes. What is it?
Michelle talking on mute.
Oh, she's talking on mute. Okay. No, Dorothy, go ahead, Michelle.
Before we bring Dorothy, before we bring you on, and I know that tomorrow you're going to do it informational, but I wanted to, while we have some people on the call today, to just, if you could, and we'll take some more questions. I know some of you may have some more questions. We'll take some more questions as soon as Dorothy finished. But I wanted to at least let her have a moment to talk to you about DeFi, yield farming, and how important it is. She comes from a background of over 20 years in the financial arena and dealing from an institutional level. So yesterday, when I put a signal in the Telegram that, hey, Bitcoin is about to go up, Dorothy, I was sitting with her, and she said, right now we were moving some coins. I was doing some farming and some different things that she was showing me how to do. And immediately she said, hey, it's about to go up. these other coins that you're about to buy, go buy them before they go up. Like Matic, I was buying more Matic. It was $1.89 when I left her house, and by the time I got home to buy, it was $2.18. Just that quick, because she is definitely, when it comes to the technicals, she watches the technicals. And so we share information from, I do a lot of the fundamentals, and she's showing me some fundamentals that I didn't even know as well. And she does the technicals. But one of the things that she is also very skilled in, and teaches a lot of people in our class as well, in our master's class, is on yield farming. And she, so I just want to, and I think it's very important, because there's a lot of opportunity, and a lot of people won't teach you this. A lot of people won't show you how to do yield farming, because it's like bringing more people in. The more people are in it, the less some of the percentage yields can go down. So for her to share this information, and it's not easy, it's not a walk in the park, it's something that you have to pay attention to, and you have to get used to doing. And I had to get used to doing this. It takes some understanding, but it's worth taking the time to understand it. And so she has definitely been someone who I say that, you know, iron sharpens iron. She has definitely been sharpening me. And she is also another person that I told her yesterday, I said, I'm so glad not to be the smartest person in the room, because it's always good. I always say, you know, you want people around you that know more than you do. And so, when it comes to farming and DeFi, she definitely knows more than I do, but is willing to share to our cryptocurrency tribe. And I am grateful for that. So with that being said, I'll turn it over to Dorothy. And Dorothy, if you can just give, not long, just maybe 2 to 4 minutes of, you know, an overview of actually why it's important for people to participate, and what they're missing out on not participating in this DeFi and yield farming arena. So I'll mute out and turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you, Michelle, for introduction. I have been in Hong Kong as an international financial center, working there for 20 years. I manage private equity funds and hedge funds. So I really know how the stock market works. I have a track record that in the tsunami 2008, me and my clients lose nothing, because I know that something is happening. And then I put, before the tsunami, I packed all the investment portfolio to cash. That's why the most lost, I think is around 20% from the highest point. Actually, that's what I do in the financial markets. Now, what is DeFi? DeFi actually is something that the institution or the financial people try to move from the finance to the decentralized finance. Why? Because it saves money. And then because with the DeFi, we only have smart contracts. We don't need a lot of people. I guess you guys know that Coinbase has over 1,000 staff, but the trading volume compared to Uniswap and then SushiSwap, I think Uniswap plus SushiSwap together not more than 50 to 60 staff, but already the trading volume is over Coinbase. This is a lot more cost saving. I want to use some what is yield farming? Yield farming is that when you buy the coins on Coinbase or Binance, we call it you are buying from the secondary market. Okay, just like you buy the Google or the Microsoft, it's already on the second market. So the money you can earn is the minimum. And then for farming, we call it PIPO investment. Is that, for example, the 1 inch is about to launch on the Coinbase or in the Coinbase. Actually, I have been using 1 inch about 4 months ago. If you have the coin of the 1 inch, you are selling to the secondary market. You are the one of the big guys, just like that. Some big institution, when they go to the IPOs of the stock, they go to institutional investor, they want them to buy it and then sell it to the retail market. So yield farming first is a way for you to buy the coins or have the coins before it's launched in the secondary market. It's a lot of more profit. And then second, the most important thing is if you hold cryptocurrency, you don't have cash flow, okay? You don't have any passive income. But with DeFi, using the right tools, we call it yield farming or liquidity providing. You can own, for example, your Cardano, your ETH, or your DOT, DOT or the Dogecoin. You can still own it, and then you put it to a collateral, and then you can borrow money on it, and then you use it to farming. We call it is provide liquidity. Just like providing liquidity means you open a small exchange, money changer between US dollar and Mexican peso. You are running a small business like this, so that you can gain the transaction costs. So you don't need to put out extra money, but you create a passive income daily. And then it's normal for the DeFi, for the API is over 100%. It's not 10. It's not when you stick a coin, 10 to 17 is the most. But in the world of DeFi, 90%, 90 is the minimum. Otherwise, it's not attractive. I have been now what I have been investing, some pools are over 130%. It's very common and very low risk. So you own the cryptocurrency. Now it's time to create passive income daily, so that it's not just being a whales or holding the good coins can bring you cash flow, just like you are having a house, rent it out, and then you create passive income, and that will bring you financial freedom. Okay, is there any questions? I try to be simple and help you guys to understand the concept of DeFi. Any question on my background?
Okay. Thank you, Dorothy.
No good.
I have a question.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, thank you guys for having this call. It's very, very informative. And thank you for your time. My question
Welcome.
is, as far as the yield farming, is it almost like, if you went into a bank and you got a collateral loan against your money, the bank gives you the money, but and then you basically buying against your own money that you have? Is this sort of like that? I'm just trying to kind of understand what yield farming is.
Oh, I love your example. Actually, now, yes, we call it in the financial term, we call it money market. You put the collateral in a money market, in the DeFi money market, you borrow it, and then they give you the return, even though you borrow it. And then this is one kind of DeFi. This one kind. There's other kind that you use. This is the money market kind of DeFi. That means that you put your collateral and then you borrow the money back, and they give you the coin that is not yet on the market. As far as I know, I think you guys know compound, right? You guys know compound?
Yes.
Compound actually is a money market DeFi coin, but when you buy it, it's already on the secondary market. If you last year you farm it, the return is 10 times more than now, 10 times. Because you farm it, you are part of the pre-IPO. You are involving in the part of pre-IPO process. So you are not buying stock from the secondary market. You sell the stock to the secondary market. It's something before in the stock investment. It's something only institution investor can involve. Now, because of the DeFi, everyone just need to learn that it's not something it's easy, but you can access to it so that you can gain money on it.
Gotcha. So DeFi coins is almost like with stocks where you have like pink sheets, where those penny stocks that haven't even haven't hit the NASDAQ or haven't had an IPO yet, and you get an opportunity to buy before it goes to the next.
We call it farm because you don't need to buy it. You just need to provide the liquidity. You just use your existing money, put it in the right place. They will give you the coin. They give it to you. You don't buy it.
So Dr. Clay, instead of you earning, say, cash, you earn that coin. So say before Pancake Swap hit the market, or before Bunny hit the market, you could have farmed that and earned it.
Yes, cake is a very good example. When I farmed the cake, it's around $8, and I stake the cake, the return is over 135%. Because before it's listed on the Binance, it is 130%.
And then you get the gains on top of that, because now you hold the coins, but you earned it for free just by putting your coins up as liquidity. And so
exactly.
She'll go over more tomorrow on the informational, just like we had a market update informational tomorrow. We're going to have a passive, she does a class called Creating Passive Cash Flow, Becoming the Whale. So really she's teaching how to become the institutional, and she's the institutional investor and the institutional buyer. And so she's going to do an informational tomorrow. She's also bringing another gentleman on who is an attorney and also certified in taxes, that will talk about how to pay zero taxes on your crypto. I know a lot of people had messaged me about, taxes when it comes to crypto. So we can get more into detail. I'm sure she'll have a short question and answer tomorrow as well. But I wanted to at least give everybody a snippet of what to expect. And when we're talking about, when we drop the link tomorrow for the crypto earning creative cash flow, it's definitely a call that you want to be on. It's taking your crypto to the next level. Less than 1% of people in cryptocurrency even know how to do this. So this is definitely a next level and a way to earn money on your cash, money on your coins that you already have, or if you need to buy more to earn it, she's definitely someone who can show you and point you in the right direction. So I'm excited about the informational that she's doing tomorrow, and look forward to her sharing that information with you all. So if there's any other questions, though, not necessarily about DeFi, because we're going to get into that tomorrow, but just any general questions that you had before we end the call, please ask those now. Let's take about 3 more of those questions if anyone has them. And if not, we will go ahead and end this call, because I don't want to hold people too long. So are there any questions left? Let me see. I'm trying to look in the chat. Thank you, Dorothy. Thank you. Is there a registered link for tomorrow? We're going to drop it in the Telegram. Any other questions before we end? We'll definitely look forward to seeing everybody on tomorrow's call, so you can get more information on another way to earn passive daily income off of crypto, and actually become do like the institutions and get in before and earn what we call free crypto. And so I'm excited about that. I'm excited that everyone got on today and gave us and shared your time with us. Hopefully we kind of put some of your questions to rest, put some of your nerves to rest. You got more clarity on where we are in this bull run and what's happening in the market. I really hope that's what we provided for you today. So Terrell, if you want to if you have any last words before we close out, please share with us now.
Yeah, just want to say thank you for everybody for spending the evening with us, getting your questions answered, and we're here for your support. So whenever you need more information, you know where to find us. So thank y'all, and everybody have a great evening.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.